let's talk about the one thing that is probably the most painful thing I have ever gone through in my life, and that is an HSG. An HSG is also called a histopictogram, and I may have mispronounced that, but that's how I say it. So basically, you go in, you have to go to a hospital to have it done, and they have you get undressed from the waist down, and they use a tool that's very similar to what your gynecologist would use. And they go in, they open you up, and then they use, I don't know, I kind of compared it to like a catheter, maybe like a metal catheter, but they place that in, and then they run a dye through your tubes. It's only like a 30-second procedure. I was told to take some ibuprofen 30 minutes before the procedure, and that it would be minimal pain. And I think they were wrong. They were very wrong. The person that said that must have never had one done before, because it made me want to come off that table. That was probably the worst pain I have ever gone through. The doctor will tell you that she's going to squirt some dye, and it basically kind of runs through your tubes to see if there's any blockages, if the dye comes back out, so basically they're able to like look at your fallopian tubes. If your tubes are normal, the dye will flow back out and spill out. And the whole time this process is going on, they have an X-ray machine up so that you can watch the dye going up. It's very cool to watch, but it was very painful. On a scale of 1 to 10, I gave it a 10. I took everything I had not to come up off that table during the procedure. But the procedure was very beneficial for me. Once Nick and I got engaged, we decided we wanted to have a baby. And so I stopped using everything. And that was 3 years ago. And so this HSG basically showed my doctor that I had blockages in both tubes, and that there was no way I would get pregnant naturally. So that's why we're having to go with an IVF procedure. She did say that the other thing that we could go through would be surgery to go in and unblock my tubes. However, I would have to be off work for a little bit for that. It wouldn't be very comfortable. I would have some more pain with it. And she said that even though she could unblock them, there was no guarantee that scar tissue wouldn't reblock them. And so the best option for me would be IVF. So here we are. For anybody that has never had an HSG done before, you're better off if you definitely take the ibuprofen. She's at 800 milligrams. And just know it is going to be uncomfortable. There is going to be discomfort. I was not prepared for that. I went in thinking it was just going to be uncomfortable, just kind of like a pap smear. I did not realize the amount of pain that I would have with it. If I had known that, I probably would have been more mentally prepared for the procedure. During the procedure, the girl that was in there, I had to wear my mask because of COVID, but she told me to take my mask down and to slow down my breathing because they were worried about me passing out on the table. I hope not everyone's experience is as bad as mine, but it was pretty uncomfortable, to be honest. I'm glad I had it done because it gave me the answers I'd been needing to have. I was so afraid I would never be able to get pregnant. We've been trying for a long time, trying lots of things. So at least it gave me some answers. So, I walked out to the car to tell my husband, and I think the worst part was that he couldn't be in there with me. I had to go in by myself. They changed all the COVID regulations, so he wasn't allowed in. You know, I knew that there's something wasn't right based off the procedure when I got it done, because the doctor told me that it looked like I had some blockage, but she wasn't sure how much. But I didn't know the exact results, so I met with my specialist on Friday. So I walked out to the car and I just immediately started crying. I didn't know if I would be able to have a child or not. I just thought, I didn't really know what to think. I'd never heard of anybody having blockages before, but apparently it's a lot more common than what we know. So that was my experience with HSG, and I hope no one else ever has to go through that. So I will hop back on a little later. Bye, guys.